Otter Sport Sportsman sled. It played a big role in that little video series we call The Ordeal, except I didn't turn around and look at the sled very much in the thing. Size-wise, you can kind of tell compared to this large carabiner in my hand that I use for dragging it. It's around a little over 3 feet long, by about 1.5 feet wide. Made by Otter Sport here in the U.S. Heavy-duty plastic, one-piece construction. Comes with a couple holes drilled in it. They don't always come with a string, so you got to kind of dig through the stuff at the store. Make sure you're getting one with a string. Proudly made in USA. Not cheap for what it is. I mean, it's just a single piece of plastic, which would remind me of a $8 garbage can, but this thing was 40 bucks. And people at the store knew what they had. They know the season. Not big enough for an adult to like play downhill sledding with it, but what this is for towing your backpack, your cargo and stuff. When my truck broke down, well, it didn't break down, it just got stuck in snow. I had to hike into the location, and it was a long 5-hour hike, dragging the sled with cargo. I started out with about, I'd say a good 50 pounds, and about more like 60 pounds of cargo. Had to reduce that to, I would say 30-ish. Well, maybe 35-ish on the way in. You try loading 100 pounds of cargo in this thing, it's just going to sink too hard in the snow. But if you're dragging it on ice, that's not a problem. The way I worked it is for long distance travel, is I put a carabiner on here. And then if you wear a good quality heavy duty tactical style web belt with a Velcro closure, because you'll break a buckle doing this, but if you got a good strong Velcro tension closer, just hook this at the back of your belt and keep hiking. And that's strong enough that it's going to hang on. It's not a super high-end string. But the idea of just towing this with your hand kind of wears out some extra muscles. And I found just getting the carabiner that's large enough. It doesn't need to be one of these super safety steel mountain climber style. As long as it's large enough to get around your belt. It'll reach up in under your coat and your jacket, put it up on your belt. It'll make sure your belt's tight enough you don't get super plumber butt in the snow. But that turned into kind of an essential item for bugging out in the snow, and not really bugging out, but just getting to the location. We were eventually able to get the road somewhat cleared and be able to get in and out with snow chains. But for that first trip in, being able to have my gear for a couple of days before I could retrieve the vehicle really helped out a lot. US made, Otter Sport. They also make like the Otter boxes and other stuff. Good gear. A little overpriced, but it's strong. It's made to do what it's supposed to do. I'm thinking this thing could also double as a insert for a rubber boat and give you like a little bit firmer floor in a rubber boat for your cargo, because you have especially if you carry a lot of gear that isn't in nylon, like tools and stuff that might have sharp edges or something. This thing's kind of good if part of your plan involves using a rubber boat. You stick this down in the little passenger area and then put your gear in that, a little more solid, a little more heavy duty. And if something happens and you're having to swim out, you can put some. You can't use this as a boat; it's too small. But you could put a child in there and tow it by swimming. And you could put your gear in there and tow it, like let's say across a river or stream by swimming with it. Realize that your water area though is going to be where those little string holes are, but it's going to have enough buoyancy that you can stick your backpack in there and swim dragging it. And then of course on snow, hook that carabiner up to the back of your belt and just walk normally. Don't wear your arms out trying to tug on the handle unless you're just going a really short distance. But that's the Otter brand snow